The recipe calls for 2 cups of almond flour. Oh, I'm the wrong way on that. That's fine almond flour. That's 1. My measuring cup's a little damp, that's why it's holding on to it. And 2. Two cups of almond flour. Then we're going to add 1/4 cup organic brown sugar. And I made this up last night. You can find this on my videos. 1/4 cup. And it's going to be packed. Let's pack that puppy up. Okay, 1/4 cup packed organic brown sugar, because that's what I have on hand. You could use whatever kind of brown sugar you have on hand, and that's an obvious statement, right? All right, and then my next ingredient is going to be 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I have kosher salt, so that's what I'm using. I think that there's like this thing where you use the table salt. It's a little saltier, kosher salt, different salt value. I don't really understand all that. I just use what I have on hand. The other thing that it said to use is 1/4 cup of what is this? Coconut oil. And of course you want that melted so that you can incorporate that well. The recipe, the original recipe actually asks for 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, but I find that at times that is a little much. I don't necessarily want, oh, there's my dog. I don't necessarily want my cookies to be that greasy, if you will, because I feel like they're a little greasy when I do it that way, so I'm not going to add that. It does call for 3 to 4 tablespoons of water. I have 4 tablespoons here, and I'll just add the majority of it and then see if I need that last tablespoon. See how it's starting to come together. Don't have to use my mixer. It's a really easy, very forgiving recipe. Let me see if that will hold shape. If it holds a shape, then that's what I'm going to want. And yes, my hands are clean. So it's holding its shape somewhat, but it is cracking a little bit. So I'm going to add the rest of that water. It's not that much. There it is. So you can see if I added the other extra 2 tablespoons of oil, I wouldn't have added that water. It would have been a little more fatty, and I just didn't think that it was necessary. I've made this several times now, and I'm quite happy with leaving out the extra 2 tablespoons of oil. So what you're going to do at this point is start rolling these out. See how it does hold its shape there. All right. The size of the cookies is, just use your own judgment how much you're going to want them, how big you're going to want them. Remember, you are going to press a hole in the middle, not a hole, but an indentation so that you can hold your jam. So let me get these all done and then I'll be right back with you. So this is what I came up with. That batch made these cookies. I have nothing left over, which is perfect. You don't want a whole bunch. I mean, unless you do, but I didn't. I just wanted a few. So I pulled this out of my cupboard. I think my brother gave this to me when he went to Germany years ago. Anyways, the reason that I'm pulling it out is because I like the way that this little area here looks. I feel like that works really good for indenting my cookies. So this is what I'm going to do. Just going to roll it on there. They do crack. It's okay. It's part of the charm, right? I'm going to do that to all my cookies here. And that's where I'm going to put my jam. I find that if I hold on to it a little bit, it doesn't crack quite as much. I didn't really hold on to that one. And these cookies don't spread. There's no leavening in them, so we're pretty safe with that. Okay, those are the holes. Now we get to look at the different kind of jams that I have. So here I have a peach mango passion, raspberry, blackberry, apricot, and for those of you watching your sugar content, sugar-free. Now, if I wanted to make this healthier, I guess I could use the sugar-free strawberry preserves, and then instead of the brown sugar, I could use like a monk fruit or some other kind of an alternative sweetener to make this a little more healthy for those that are dealing with sugar issues. Anyways, I think I'm going to go with the apricot and raspberry. I think that'll be a good combination for this. So I'm just going to take a little dollop of them and put them in the middle. So I'll be right back with you to show you what that looks like. All right, I'm almost done here. Let me just show you how I'm doing this. So this is the apricot filling, and I'm just doing like a little dollop. I don't want to overflow the cookies, and I don't want it to overwhelm them. It's just like a nice little accompaniment, something to give it a little extra flavor there. So that's enough. Oh, there's my oven. It's ready to go. All right, so what I ended up doing, I lied. I said I was going to use 2 flavors, but I haven't tried the sugar-free on these cookies. I've tried the raspberry and the apricot before, and actually the raspberry is my favorite. I think it's really a nice flavor with this cookie. But I wanted to try out the sugar-free, and I don't know how that's going to melt into the cookie, if it's going to stay firmer or what. So this is like a test. I've only made 3 of those just in case we don't like them. So let's get them in the oven and then we'll take a look to see what we have. Okay, this is the final product. And look how shiny that looks. The difference is on these sugar-free ones, they do look a little more matte finish. Maybe they need that sugar to make them shine. There's an empty spot because my daughter and I tasted them. So this is an update. What I initially said was, as far as the melted coconut oil, that it's not necessarily important to add the extra 2 tablespoons. Well, now that I've tried it with just a 1/4 cup, omitting the 2 tablespoons, I see why I should have added the 2 tablespoons. It took a lot longer to bake these. Usually it takes about 8 minutes. And as I was testing them, I kept thinking, wow, they're still not ready. So I kept letting them go. So it took about 12 minutes for these to bake. And this one's okay. Okay. I mean, they're okay, but see, like that one got a little dark. And that's just because it had too much time in the oven. But I'm not mad at them. They're still really delicious. I don't mind the darkness on the bottom, but if you want them to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye of the people that you're going to give these to, you might want to add the extra oil. See, like that one's a little dark. But I ate one that was like that, and the taste is still marvelous, because if you think about coconut and then like maybe a toasty coconut flavor, I'm not mad. So these were actually really good. I'm happy with the result. I don't know that I'll put the 2 tablespoons back in unless I give them out as gifts to people, because I don't mind the dark bottom, and 2 teaspoons less of oil is going to be better for me in the long run, right? But if I give them to people, I want them to look nice as well. So that being, would I make them again like that? Like I just said. Yeah, I will. I really, really did like them. So I hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Hopefully you'll make this recipe and share it with others. Let's share what we find, the little hidden jewels that we find on the internet as we're perusing the different recipes and stuff. Let's share those jewels with one another. That's how I've come up with these things. Sometimes I'll tweak a recipe, sometimes I'll do it verbatim, and yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying this. So I hope that you enjoyed your time with me. I enjoyed my time with you. Getting used to filming myself and not being embarrassed when my family walks by. Anyways, talk to you soon, and maybe I'll make salsa next. I probably will, because I think I need some. All right, take care.